Good morning. Welcome to Coffee with Craig. I am, as you guessed it, Craig. Today we're going to talk about background checks. One of the big arguments that the gun control movement makes is that, well, 40% of all firearm purchases are done without background checks, and their insinuation is that people are out there trying to skirt around the law. People with criminal backgrounds are out there basically purchasing legal firearms and then utilizing them in crimes. Now, this is despite the fact that all the crime statistics are showing that when firearms are found, they are found to have been generally lost or stolen. They tend to be trafficked firearms, not firearms that were actually purchased legally with or without a background check. Well, there was a recent study that was done that basically noted that only about 22% of all firearm purchases in the country are done without a background check. Now, that's about half of the number that the politicians and the researchers have been using in order to argue for increased background checks. Now, the study was published in the Annals of Internal Medicine, and it found that the current portion of gun control sales conducted with a background check, once again, was about half of what they had anticipated. Now, some people wonder, well, why don't folks want to have a background check? What's the issue with the background check? And the problem is that for gun control advocates, the problem is that the first thing that they want to do with this background check is they want to create a list. And I think that for many gun owners who have learned from history, they understand one of the biggest concerns is, having the government in particular tracking who has a firearm and what firearms they have. Because should a time ever come when the tyrannical government wants to stomp down on its people, well, guess what the first thing that they're going to do is? They're going to pull out that list, they're going to find out who owns guns, and then they're going to go around and they're going to collect all of those guns. The other issue is that in particular here in California, the background check is used as a way in which to delay someone's ability to be able to exercise their right to keep and bear arms. In California, we have a 10-day waiting period, which, by the way, is idiotic. Even if you have a concealed weapons permit, even if you can prove that you already own a firearm, you have to wait 10 days before you can pick up your firearm. Now, most background checks are done almost instantaneously. They're done within 5 minutes. I mean, that's about how long the average background check takes. Some of them do take longer, but the fact is that the overwhelming majority of them can be done almost instantaneously. Yet in the state of California, we have to wait 10 days. Once again, even if you have a concealed weapons permit, even if you've already gone through all of that process, you still have to wait an extended period of time. Well, this basically what this study does is it blows up their argument. It blows up their argument because what people are saying is, a huge percentage of the firearms transactions that are taking place that are not getting background checks oftentimes are friends, an individual friend selling a firearm to someone they know, not to some stranger. But also, in many cases, it's familial, transferring from maybe a parent to a child, or maybe it's an inheritance. All of that's noted in this particular study. So the idea that we need more background check laws is just a bunch of hooey. But then again, you knew that. So let's go and let's see what you folks have to think about that. What do you folks think about background checks? Do you think we need to be expanded? Do you think they need to be shortened? I'm willing to bet that no one here thinks they need to be expanded. Yeah, the 10-day waiting period needs to be repealed. Yes, I completely agree, Gabriel. I say this is more reason. Oh, okay, went backwards. Where are we at here? Okay. Even law enforcement has to wait 10 days. I live in California. Will suppressors be legalized? I do not know if suppressors will be legalized. But the topic today is background checks. I do not know if you'll need to get a background check for a suppressor, whether they're legal or not. If they're illegal, then I'm assuming that no, you will not need a background check. Let's see, anything else here? Nobody else has a comment. Never had a problem with background checks. as ever the law, I have a problem with, including the 10-day waiting period. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that it comes down to is, once again, having to wait 10 days. Now, keep in mind, especially here in California, you also have, at least when it comes to handguns, you have a 1 in 30. So you already have to wait 30 days. And then after you purchase a firearm, you have to wait 10 days to get it. So it's basically a 40-day waiting period if you were to wanted to purchase more than one firearm. I guess that appears to be all the conversation on the 10-day waiting period, or on background checks and background checks in general. So, folks, one of the things that we need to do when we look at background checks, and the understanding is I think we all get the idea that no one wants someone who is who shouldn't have a firearm to be able to obtain a firearm. But I really do believe that those who push the idea of increased background checks want to use it as it's a camel's nose under the tent. So now we want to increase restrictions. We want to increase waiting periods. We want to make it so that we're going to not just deny people their rights, but delay people their rights. And by the way, you guys have heard the saying, a right delayed is a right denied. Anyway, folks, that's going to be it for today's coffee. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
If you like these updates, please share them with your friends and subscribe to our YouTube channel.